Leo, you guys have an opportunity to bounce back tonight, and you're going up against a really tough opponent. Anything that's been said since Wednesday night?
No, we had a really good meeting yesterday. Met with some of the older players. Kind of got their feel of, how things have kind of gone the last week. But we're playing a really good team. They're really well coached. They're hard to play against. It'll be a really big test for our group. Our guys have done a great job responding all year from games where we haven't been great. So looking forward to watching us play tonight.
Is there any added pressure to this game, knowing that if they win in regulation, they've got the North Division?
No, you just got to play. I think sometimes it gets lost. I think a little bit of it too is, talking to some of the guys. We've been first or second since November or December, right after Christmas break. They look at the standings, they see, Laval, there's a little bit complacency where they know we're in second. So there's a little bit of that. We've been on long road trips. But tonight's one of those games. It's I would say a statement game where, there's a chance we see them down the road. They're a really good team. I know our guys will be ready tonight.
How do you feel about, it's Hall of Fame night, like the crowd's going to be rocking. This is a pretty important night for the organization. Is that going to add anything?
Not to add anything, but more, what a career. I grew up as a kid in Michigan. I watched, he played in the Sioux. I have a place in the summertime in the probably about an hour from there. I watched him play when I was a kid in college. Played 4 years here, or 3.5 years, and Olympic goalie. I'm really excited for myself to meet him. He's had a Hall of Fame career. I hear he's a Hall of Fame person, and more not just enjoy I think for our guys, I think he's going to speak to our team before the game, and what a career. And so I'm looking forward to meeting him.
23-year-old goaltender right now, Devin Levi, that is like Rochester's second coming of Ryan Miller. The statistics, the comparisons are nonstop. What does that say about Levi and just the kind of guy he is?
Yeah, it's awesome. Dev's, pretty unique path. Kind of Ryan was drafted, I think, in the 5th round. Dev was the 7th round pick. Ryan he had 177 starts here. This is Dev's 70th start. So it's someone that Dev can kind of, I'm sure he looks up to him, the career that he's had. And I think it's an awesome moment for both guys.
Not really. You only have 3 home games left. Is there something that you really want to try to improve on in those 3 and 4 remaining games?
Just that we play our game when we're playing really good. I think that I want to see the competitive spirit from the group tonight. We had a meeting about where we're at and how hard the guys have worked to get to where we're at. To get 41 wins in the league is not by accident. It's only been done 2 times in the last 15 years here. And I think it's to not lose, don't just coast into the playoffs. You can't just turn it on. Regardless of the wins and losses, that we just need to play good hockey. I'm not really concerned about the wins and losses. I just want us to play well. And that's the focus. The guys have worked so hard to put us in this position, to get home ice, to have a 40-plus win season, buying and defending. I think it'll be the second time in the last 30 years that a team has given up under 200 goals. And usually if you do that, those are the teams that are successful down the run. You know what I'm saying, Donnie? There's some things at stake for the group to finish the right way. And that's what the focus is for us to finish playing good hockey. And tonight is going to be a great test for our group.
One thing, the team seems to play really well second period. There's been a few times to give up the lead in the third period. Is that a concern?
It always is, Donnie. Like we've gone in the third periods with leads. I think 30 sometimes. If you just look at your most likely, and I think it's 35 times we've gone in a third period with the lead. There's going to be some times where you don't end up on the right side of it, but I think that's a learning experience for the group. Now it has happened. I think we were 29-0-1 going into third periods with the lead going into the Laval that weekend. We gave up 2 leads. We didn't get a point. We had a lead against Belleville, 2-0 lead. We didn't get a point. So I think those things are learning experience. I think it all evens itself out. Like, I think we've done a really good job all year closing out games. It just so happens to be that the last probably 6 weeks, there's been a couple instances where we haven't, but it's definitely something where you got to really lock it in. And I think the guys know that we've done a great job all year when the game gets tight in the third period to find ways to win games. We've been really good at, I just think about all the empty net goals we've had this year from being really good 6-on-5, or 5-on-6. So yeah, it's definitely when you get a lead in the third period, you got to be able to lock it down, and we've been in those situations a lot. Not concerned because we've been in those situations, and when you're in those situations a lot, there's sometimes where another team's pushing. They got 5 guys on the ice trying to win, desperate teams. But more often than not, we've done a really good job. But yes, we got to make sure, especially these last 4 games, we get a lead going to third period, that we got to lock it down. Thank you.
Brian Duff, do you have anything for Leo?
Just curious whether you think that there's any players that are gaining more opportunity here based on the roster changes of late, the call-ups and whatnot.
Yeah, Duffer, for sure. Guys getting slotted in different spots. With Cozy and Oslin being up, that's 2, cogs in our wheel that play the center position that are not here. So Wahlberg, we decided to put him in the middle. He's done a really nice job for us. He's really good below the circles. He exits the zone really good with the puck. He's able to transport the puck through zones, and he's been good on faceoff. So he would probably be the one where, has gotten a little bit more playing a different position at the pro hockey level at this time of the year. I don't think people realize like how big of an adjustment that is. But he's done a really good job, and Dunner's going to play up the lineup tonight with those guys being gone. So good opportunity for guys to step up.
How would you have assessed Wahlberg's season prior to moving him into the middle?
Wally's done a really good job for us, especially coming back from the break from when he went to the World Junior Tournament. I think he's really dedicated himself in the gym. He's playing to his identity because not many people have the ability that he has at 6'3", could skate. When he's physically engaged, he could have a huge impact on the game without scoring any points. Similar to, like a Nice, where you see what he's done in Toronto, or a Greenway, these big guys who could skate and are physical. And Wally's done a great job for us. And I think if you look at the season he's had as a 19-year-old player in our league, he's got over 10 goals, close to 35 points. It's a really good season for a young player, and we've used him a lot lately in 5-on-6 situations with leads because he's got a really long stick and competitive, wants to win. So he's been really good for us.
And for Consta, just to have the breakout offensive game last week, but also still this opportunity where there's not some of the guys in the lineup. Just maybe a thought on how he's navigated all of this and what you've seen from his in the form of perhaps consistency or anything like that.
Yeah, I think with Consa, I think if you look at the blueprint of the entire season, I think it's anytime an 18-year-old player is going to have over 30 points in the AHL that's really difficult. Now, with that being said, there's been a lot of ups and downs, especially I think the level of intensity and compete that you have to have every night at this level in pro hockey, I think has been a huge adjustment where his consistency in his play, his details away from the puck, it's hard. And that's part of the reason why we moved him to the wing. I think he was getting overwhelmed at times in the faceoff circle. It freed him up, but now he's been back in the middle with those guys being gone. In his last, I would probably say 6 or 7 games, his play away from the puck has improved. He's attacking the game more when he's physically engaged, not so much hitting, but when he's getting in on 50-50 pucks and he's taking pucks to the net, you could see the clear difference in his game. But yeah, he's going to get an opportunity tonight, and he's probably going to play against a really good line. So it'll be a big test for him tonight.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.